what's the girl version of the Roman Empire? And so many people were saying that thinking about your ex-best friend. Welcome to Life Unleashed,
the podcast all about creating the best life for you and your furry best friend.
If you're a dog mom on the go, juggling life, work, and the endless joys of being a dog parent, then you're in the right place. I'm Dani.
And I'm Nick.
And together with the incredible dog mom community from Tails Up Pup, we're here to share advice, stories, and the obsession we have over the love for our dogs.
Get ready to laugh, learn, and lean on each other because life with your dog just got even more awesome.
Making friends in your 20s. Let's talk about it. Why is it so hard?
I just feel like as you get older, you become a little more shy. When you're a kid, you have no problem going up to someone and saying, "Hey, want to play this game?" And they're like, "Sure." There's just a lot more like judgment and shyness as you get older.
Yeah, that's so true.
Funny.
Because like kids are just fearless. They have nothing to be ashamed of.
Oh, yeah.
And as you get older, you're like worried about what someone's thinking or like how you look or, you know, I just, yeah, you definitely have a lot more thoughts in your head as an adult.
I guess it's society making us that way, but I feel and see it even with kids today. They have no problem going up to another random kid that's a stranger to them and making a friend wherever they go. For us, we're just a little more timid and scared to because, like you said, what if they don't like us? What if they're not as warm and welcoming? What if they don't want to be my friend?
Why do people think that it's weird too? Like, okay, like I would come to you and tell you about like someone I saw at the gym. I'm like, oh, she looks like someone I would be friends with because like I heard her talking about something or like we had a similar interest or like she was wearing an outfit similar to mine. Like we have a common interest. So I'm like, but why would it be so weird if I went up to her and started talking to her? Like it is, but why is it?
I have no idea.
People think that's weird.
It really, I think it's society shaping us to think that that is weird.
And the other barrier in today's society is the cell phones. Because when you're waiting for something, like if you're at the doctor's office or even like waiting to go in the gym or whatever, people just sit on their phones and that makes you very unapproachable.
Yeah, and I think as we get older too, a lot of people do have their core friends or their set friends that they've had or gained, and people aren't as willing to welcome in new friendships for whatever reason that
like
is.
They're like, I have my people and I don't need
yeah,
any
I've
more.
reached this age, I have my people and I don't need any more friends. I already have friends. So they're not as welcoming to the new friendships.
Yeah, and that's hard because I feel like you can never have too many friends, but
I wouldn't think so.
yeah.
But some people are just funny about that. You know, some people don't mind having a lot of friends.
Or like you have your core group of friends that you've had for years.
Right.
Like if you wanted to bring someone new in, like that would be nearly impossible because you're already so established.
I'm glad you brought that up though, because so my core friend group, one of the girls that's in my core friend group, she was not like, there's me and my friend Mary Louise and Abby, and we've been friends since we were kids, like very, very young. And then we have Malia, who was like a later addition to our friend group.
So what was that like?
Become friends with us until, gosh, I mean, till our adult life, like when we were all getting engaged and married. And
so does she feel like an outcast or she feels like she fits right in?
I wouldn't say, I mean, I can't speak for Malia, but I feel like she doesn't feel like an outsider.
Okay, so you're a testament that you can add new friends.
Yeah, a lot of people assume when they're around us because they get around me and Abby and Mary Louise and they're like, oh yeah, these childhood friends. Oh yeah, Malia went to Marietta. And Malia's like, actually, I did not. I haven't known these people that long.
Yeah, that's crazy to me as someone who like witnesses you guys. Like it just seems like
it can happen. It's possible. It's possible.
My mom is someone who has a ton of friends that are all separate. Like my mom has a lot of different friend groups. They don't all mesh. Like they don't all get together. My mom has her dinner club friends, her book club friends, her work friends.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of people like that. I think I have that too.
How many people do you think are friends with someone that wouldn't be, but it's because of convenience? Like, would you be friends with someone? Okay, specifically, I'm thinking about like childhood friends.
Okay.
Don't think about you specifically. Just like think about people in general because like you are a special person. Like you have like good, genuine friends. But how many people become friends with someone like in kindergarten then because like they're in the same class together and then they just stay friends. But then like as they grow up, they have different interests. Like maybe they shouldn't be friends because they're not who they used to be.
I think there's a lot of people like that.
And it's hard to like abandon a friend. You know?
Yeah, I agree.
So stay friends.
I even have childhood friends that they're always going to be friends to me, but we're in different walks of life or like different paths right now, doing different things, or we don't have the same interest anymore as we did when we were in 5th grade.
Yeah.
So I do think friends come and go depending on what phase of life you're in.
You know, when people were talking about like the Roman Empire on social media, and like some people were trying to figure out like what's the girl version of the Roman Empire, and so many people were saying that thinking about your ex best friend, like how often are you thinking about your ex best friend? Like girls think about that all the time.
I think so too, yeah, because I have that. I mean, like I said, there's friends that have come and gone in my life just because of the phase that I'm in, and you just grow apart.
I think specifically, like when you're in major life things, like right now you're having a kid. Right. So like if you were friends with someone who's like still partying all the time and like going out really late, and like you're not even capable of doing that right now, and when you have your kid, maybe you might not choose to do that. Right. I don't know. But when you're doing things so differently, it's hard to be friends with someone who's living such a different lifestyle than you.
Yeah, I agree. And that's, again, why the friends come and go.
Yeah.
It just depends on what's going on in your life and what you need. Because friendship is a relationship. So just like in your romantic relationships, you're looking for things that you need in your life to help support you and to better you. And you look for the same thing, I think, in friendships, whether you think you are doing that or not. You know, like you need, I don't know, like if you're on a health journey right now and you want to stay fit and be on a certain diet, like you don't want people around you that are doing the opposite of that want to go and eat junk food, and it's not good for you. So you want to separate that. So.
I am very picky about my friends.
I am too, honestly, though.
I don't have time to waste on someone who's not going to encourage me, make my life better, you know, bring me happiness. If someone's like bringing me down, it's discouraging. People, a lot of girls just care about their look so much. Like I can't be friends with someone who's going to bash themselves, because that makes me feel bad. Right. So like, I'm very picky about who I choose to surround myself with. And I also think that's probably why I don't have that many friends, because I'd rather not have a friend than have a bad friend. But that's hard. Yeah.
And I think that's why, because we as a female population can have that natural judgmental kind of, we can be judgy. And so as you get older, that's why it's so hard to make those friends, because you're sitting here kind of evaluating like this person and judging them even though you don't know them.
Yeah. I was going to say that I'm a rare occurrence, but I feel like I'm actually not. I was, you know, in my 20s and I moved somewhere brand new. I actually think probably more people than I would think move in their young 20s, because you're getting a job and you might have to move somewhere that you didn't grow up living.
College too. College too.
So when you graduate college, you're like, what, 21, 22, right? You move somewhere, you're no longer in school, because school is a great way to make friends, because you're in a class, you're forced to be near people, and you can easily meet someone. Right. But now you're graduated, you move somewhere new, so you don't know anyone, you have a job. But a lot of people are working from home now. So if you're working from home, then your job's kind of out of the question to meet people. So like what are ways that you can meet people now? I feel like the most common ones are, if you drink, then you could go to a bar.
Yep, meeting someone
out. But are you going to go by yourself? Most people no. So that's actually hard, because you have to already have one to go with you. Right. And then the gym, if you enjoy working out. I think there are so few places, like maybe a library.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know where you go to meet. I think too, and I tell this to like friends that are still dating of mine, that are still out there in the dating world. I'm like, I feel like you just have to know somebody who also has this friend, and then they introduce you, and then you kind of becomes friends with that person. Because I feel in my later life, in my adult life, that friends that I have made outside of work and other places is by meeting them from it's like a mutual friend. Like we have a mutual friend, so then we meet and then we become friends.
I think the key to making friends in your 20s is surrounding yourself with people who enjoy doing what you like to do. Because you need to have a similar interest, a common thing to mold you into, like, why would you surround yourself with someone who, like you said, I'm not going to go to a bar and meet a friend when I don't drink. Like, can I go to a bar and not drink? Yes, but I'm probably not going to find my person
your ideal person.
Yeah. So if my goals are that I want to be more fit and have a better diet, then like maybe I would meet my friend at the gym, because we have that common interest. If they're there and I'm there, I feel like you have to find something that you're interested in, and that's how you can meet your person.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I agree with that. It's so
It's
funny
hard though.
because the more and more we talk about this, making friends is almost as hard and like dating. Like
It is
being
like
in the
dating.
life.
It is. You have to
But
like ask questions,
Right, but
find
you
out if they're your
think-
match.
You think that it wouldn't be that hard. That
Yeah.
it wouldn't, oh, well, dating's way harder. Like, that's a romantic relationship. Like, I'm just trying to be friends with this person.
Personally,
But it
is this
is.
a hot take? I think making friends is harder than dating because
Yeah.
when you're interested in someone,
Mm-hmm.
romantic, if you think someone's hot or you
Yeah.
like something about them, you can just approach them. A lot of people don't, but like
Yeah.
I personally would. Like, I'm gonna shoot my shot. I'm gonna go for it.
Okay, Dani.
But when it's a friend, it becomes weird. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna approach another girl. Like, what am I supposed to say?
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's for whatever reason, it's harder.
It definitely is harder.
And I don't know why, but
It's
but for some people, it's not.
it's the awkwardness for me.
My husband can go, and as soon as we go anywhere, I have no worries about him. He's going to make friends.
Okay,
wherever
Nick
we
too.
go.
It definitely depends on
He'll
your
talk to whoever.
personality. But like, I am socially anxious, and it's not that I even care what someone's thinking about me. I feel like for a girl, I actually don't really care that much about that stuff.
Yeah.
It's more about I don't know what to say. Like, what am I gonna say?
Yeah, like what's going through your mind when you're out in a social setting and you're, I don't know, surrounded, like there's girls there and you're like, oh yeah, I could be their friend. Like, what's your thought process? Like, are you just like, you're just scared to make that first initial?
It's not even like I said, I'll shoot my shot. Like, I'm not afraid to approach them
Okay.
because like the worst thing that they're gonna do is not be nice, and like then I would know that they were. I shouldn't be friends with them
Right.
anyways. Like, I'd rather just know early anyways. So like that's kind of good.
Right.
But it's like, what am I gonna say? And that's even like when I'm talking on one-on-one with someone, I'm constantly worried about like, what am I gonna say next? Like, I'm worried
You
that
need an icebreaker. That's
Yeah.
what you need.
Yeah, I need
a
a-
friendship
oh
icebreaker.
my gosh.
You
But
need
then
a
see, I'm
friendship
gonna
pickup
be,
line. That's what you need.
then I'm gonna be the cheesy girl. They're gonna be like, no.
Yeah, you need like a conversation starter.
I
Like your
do.
go-to.
Can you make me some index cards?
Yeah, you need some like go-to conversation starter points.
Yeah, I do. That probably would be helpful.
Yeah, because people will, I feel like wherever I go, if someone's trying to talk to me and they're like, oh, hey, you know, how's it going? And they're always like, so, like, what do you do for work? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, that's like the go-to question. And people want to know, like, oh, what do you do for work?
Yeah.
Where do you live? Like,
I hate explaining what I do for work.
honestly, I do too, because I'm like, you
I'm
won't
like-
understand.
I'm like, you're not gonna understand. It's a whole long thing
Yeah, I'm
because
like, yeah, the dog mom, and they're like, dogs? And I'm
dog
like,
bandanas.
they're like, what's a dog band? And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, we can't be friends.
That's not an icebreaker for me. That's too much. That
It
scares
is too
people
much. But
away.
people ask me that all the time.
Yeah.
So you need something. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to think of that. That's a tough one.
It's hard for me to breathe over here because Holly's tooting.
Holly. See, I have the lovely candle that's wafting
This
this way.
nostril's getting the candle and this nostril's getting the toot.
Holly. See, Holly wouldn't be great
No.
making friends because she's so tooty.
But dogs are actually a great segue to meeting people.
That's true.
Obviously online.
If you have the dog with you, yeah, it's a
Social
good,
media is a great way to
conversation
meet
starter.
people, but in person, yeah. If you're going to a coffee shop and you bring your dog, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, can I pet your dog? Your dog's so cute. What's your
Yeah.
dog's name?" It's a great icebreaker, actually.
I think so too. I mean, just having Cooper out in public, people are, oh my gosh, he's so big, or oh, what's his name, or where'd you get him? People always want to talk about him,
And then they'll talk about their dogs, and then
Right.
you have the common interest.
right?
So actually, dogs is a great one.
Dogs is a great one. So
Yeah.
bring your dog everywhere if you
Bring your
got
dog everywhere. Yeah,
that social anxiety.
unless it's Holly, because then they'll toot.
then she's tootie.
Yeah.
You know, you brought up a good point that I'll ask you about because I haven't personally experienced this, but you have made a lot of friends through social media
Yeah.
and online. I have never experienced that. I have not. So tell me about how when you were entering adulthood, how instead of that in person, because you're in college, you know, meeting people
Yeah.
in classes and stuff, how you then segued to meeting people through technology.
I think the biggest thing is that barrier of approaching someone is down because you don't have like the fear of like, you know, that initial part. Because it's kind of like anything. Like bullies when you were younger would bully you online. Like
True, yeah.
you can hide behind that screen, and it's almost like you're doing that in like a social anxiety way on
Yeah.
social media because like all you can come up with what you're going to say. You don't have to like meet someone face to face and start worrying about it. And I feel like eye contact is also really hard for people. If someone's
True.
looking in your eyes, you get really nervous. But online, no one's looking at you. So you have that barrier.
So you've been able to approach people online way easier.
Yeah, I will slide in the DMs. I have no fear. And if someone slides in my DMs, like, of course I'm going to be nice because I know what that's like. Like, they were probably nervous. They like they wanted to say something. So like, let's carry this conversation and see where it goes. And I've actually made some of my great friends on social media. And it's so weird because it's like your parents tell you as a kid, like, don't meet strangers online.
Right.
But as you form that relationship, like, you learn who you can and can't trust, I guess. And then you meet them. Like, the first time I'm meeting people that I've been friends with online in person, obviously I'm always nervous. Like, are they who they say they were? And like all that stuff. But I have been very lucky to have the good ones.
Yeah. So how do you decide who to approach, like, online? Like, when are you like, oh, I'm going to be friends with that person, let me reach out to them?
I think the biggest thing is like that following someone, because people like track who they like. They're like, oh, someone new followed me, like, let me look them back. And like, you can see what they're interested in. So I think that's what's great about social media is like, it's a profile. It's a dating profile. It's a highlight reel. So you can gauge on like, okay, let's say I went to the gym and I see someone, all I'm going to base them off of is like truly what they look like or what they're wearing, because I have nothing else to gauge on. I know nothing about their life until I ask them. But on social media, you can learn so much about someone's life. You can see what they enjoy doing, where they like, do they like traveling? Where are they going? What are they doing? And so they're only going to post that if they like it. No one's going to post something they don't like. So you can learn a lot about someone, and then you can choose to follow them or not. That's kind of the first step. And then, I mean, you can shoot your shot. You could slide in DMs and say like, hey, I noticed you went here. Like, did you enjoy that? Or like, I don't know. I personally haven't like done that part, I feel like.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, like the friendships that you've made online, because I know that you've made a quite a handful of like good friendships through social media.
Honestly,
like
a lot of them were brand reps of, or are brand reps of Tails Up Pup. Like, that was the true core of who some of my best online
you were choosing those people too.
I was choosing those people to rep my brand.
Right.
And I mean, that means a lot that they already supported and loved my brand. So I knew we had that common interest. And then it usually comes from there, because if they are going to, a lot of times they'll want to pursue and like succeed. So like, if they want to like go above and beyond and like ask me like, hey, what can I be doing better? Like, how can I, like, they care so much about what I care so much about. Like, Tails Up Pup is my baby, and now they also care about my baby. Yeah. Like, oh my gosh, I'm going to give them everything that I can, you know, like, this person loves me, I'm going to love them back. And it kind of just blossoms from there. Yeah.
That's really cool. I've never experienced that. So, and I personally would not be the one to go and slide into someone's DMs. Like, I wouldn't do that. I just wouldn't think about it that way. When I'm on social media, I'm paying attention to the friendships that I have outside of social media and seeing like, hey, what are my friends up to? Yeah. That's how I view my social media, not as like a way to meet people. I definitely think you have to. That's a different perspective. Yeah. Tiptoe in the territory, because like I said, you have to be very careful, because there's people who, you know, maybe even are catfishing people, like not who they like. You have to be careful. It's not a safe space, but I feel like I have a safe space in Tails Up Pup, and like I don't know, I've been lucky also. Right. Yeah. How would you say, another great point that you bring up with meeting people in friendships, sometimes you meet someone and they seem great at first, and then they turn into someone that, hey, maybe this wasn't a great friendship. I know I've had that throughout my life. Yeah. It's definitely very hard to almost like lose a friend or like cut someone off. But like I said, I'm not going to be friends with someone who's not bringing me happiness. Right. And if I'm constantly like having to worry about like what you're going to do or what you're going to say or like how you're going to make me feel, like, that's not someone who I want to be surrounded with. So honestly, having those tough conversations is probably the hardest part, because you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. You don't want to, you know, make anyone sad. And obviously, like, you're basically breaking up with someone. That's true. So it's kind of like a breakup. And then you almost like mourn that friendship, because like, even if you're deciding now that that person isn't good for you, like, they were at one point, they were in your life. So like, you're going to miss who that old person was, or those memories you have with them. So that's definitely really hard. Yeah, that is harder. And I think as we get older, we have a lower tolerance for people treating us a certain way. You know,
Yeah.
we recognize sooner, hey, like this isn't someone I would want to surround myself with. Like you're not being that person that I first initially became friends with. And so it's really difficult to almost weed out the good and the bad.
And I think for me, like I have a lot of friends that I used to be friends with that I'm not anymore, not because we broke up. It was just simply I moved away. And over time, like, yeah, you text back and forth some, but over time, like, no one has time to text someone all the time.
No.
So
definitely not.
I don't have any bad blood or any even breakup with a lot of these people, but it just kind of died.
Just fizzles out.
Yeah. And it's so weird because like, that's what my Roman Empire is. It's not thinking about my best friend. It's thinking about, wait, what even happened? Like, did anything even happen? I'm like, no.
Did I do something wrong?
Yeah.
That's what your mind
like, there's
goes
one
to.
girl I hung out with all the time in high school. I have no idea where she is now. We did not have a falling out. Yeah, where is she? I have no idea. I think about her all the time. She doesn't have social media.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I'm like, I literally have no idea where she is, what she does. And I'm like, we hung out all the time. Isn't that so weird to think about?
That is really weird. And I have friends like that too. And sometimes my mind goes there and I'm like, dang, we used to be really good friends. We hung out all the time, or heck, we lived together in college or whatever it is. And now I'm like, I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Which is so wild.
Do you think they think about us?
I'd like to think so. I'd like to think I'm
Are we memorable
I like
at
to
all?
think I'm a memorable person. But okay, let me ask you this. So you're someone who, I don't feel like I think about this as much, but when you're going places, you're thinking about friends, meeting new people, and wanting to meet new people. So what is that feeling, and like, what do you go through with that, with wanting those friendships? With, I don't know, I feel like you're someone, you're like, I want to go and meet new people, but then it's like difficult at times.
Yeah, you really hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
I
know there's feeling there.
Yeah, I like to have friends and I like to meet people, but I feel like it's really hard. So when I'm going somewhere, like I'm always going to think like I want to I guess my mom, that's what I really think it is. Like I said, my mom has friends in all these, little Janet has friends in all these different places. And so that's like, I've always watched that. So then I'm like, oh, I want that.
Right.
So like, I want to have my gym friends. I want to have my church friends. Like I want to have all these like friends in these places I go. First of all, I don't think I guess I'll speak for myself. I don't want to go somewhere and just like stand in a corner by myself.
Right.
So I want to go somewhere and like have someone to talk to and have a good time with. And like, yeah, it's more fun if like you're lifting weights in the gym and you look at someone and you're like, oh my gosh, like this is so fun. I love this song, whatever it may be. And so like, I want to have someone like in all those places that I'm going.
Right.
And personally, I have no fear in going to the gym by myself. Like I'm going to these places by myself because that's what I want to do. But it'd be nice to have someone to do life with in those places too.
Yeah. And as human beings, we just crave companionship.
Yes.
We want to have somebody, and it's not just a romantic somebody. We want to have friends. We want to surround ourselves. We don't want that lonely feeling. So I think that is a very big struggle for a lot of people, is they want all of these friendships, and sometimes they're really hard to obtain. So I know that can be emotionally draining on a lot of people and cause a lot of inner anxiety for people because they don't want to be by themselves. They want those friends to share life with and do fun things with.
And I think for me, it's hard because I am an introvert, but I enjoy doing things with people,
Right.
So for me, I don't want to constantly, like, I want to have my me time still, but when I'm in certain situations, like, I want to have friends. I want to be there. I want to be the best friend. Like, I want to be someone who they can lean on. I'm encouraging them. Like, I want to be a good friend, but I can only be a good friend if I have a good friend, you know?
Friends. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, that's so difficult because, like, you are a good friend. I can say you're a good friend because you're my friend, but you are a good friend. So that's crazy to know that all these other people out here are missing out on that just because they're not talking to you or approaching you.
Nice.
Yeah, I can be sentimental.
Yeah, I think it's not even like that the other people don't want to be friends or find friends. Everyone, I think at the end of the core, the tip of the core, the inside of the core, whatever.
I don't know. I like where you're going.
At the core, everyone somewhat has the same desire of wanting, you know, okay, I went to the gym yesterday and I'm like, oh, like she's listening to Taylor Swift. Like I like Taylor Swift. Like we should be friends because we have that common interest, but we didn't say anything to each other. So I'm like, oh, but she could have been thinking the same thing. Like, but no one wants to jump the hurdle first. Right. No one wants to be rejected. I think that's the big thing. No one wants to be rejected because that's hard.
The fear of rejection.
Yeah. So you don't make the move so that you're not rejected. Yeah. When in reality, you're probably not going to be rejected.
Right. Even when you have those close friends and like a close friend group, you want them to be good. So then you're like, I want you to be a good friend. Yeah. So then your expectations are always high. So.
And having expectations is hard. I can have
high expectations for my friends and put in my head, oh, they're going to be this certain way around my birthday or around this other event. And then if they don't meet those expectations, then my heart is broken.
Yeah. Expectations can ruin relationships as a whole.
It can. It really can.
And the way to overcome that, I feel like, is communication and letting your friends or your significant other know almost like what your expectations are, I guess, or like what you want out of something, or like, you know, like, hey, I'm going through this and I just want you to be here for me. Right. Like just even that, like communication can really help your expectation, because if you feel like your friend's not there for you when you're going through something, that can be hard. So letting them know like, hey, I'm going through this, like, I don't need you to fix it. Like a lot of people try to fix things. Yeah. I'm not trying to fix this. I just want you there to listen. You know, like communication is key.
I agree. Again, the more we talk about this, the more I'm like, this is like dating. This can apply to like any kind of relationship.
And like your core friends who you've known for so long, it's going to be so different than like if I made a friend a month ago, because you're going to feel so much more comfortable with them.
Oh yeah, I have no problem.
You can put them in their place if they're doing something but wrong. You can tell them what you feel. And I just feel like that's just like dating. Like the longer you're with someone, the more comfortable you are.
Yeah, I agree.
And Ensley always says that I'm weird. I think that is also like
it's encouragement. I love the weirdness.
I'm quirky and weird.
Hey, I told you weren't my weirdest friend too. Okay. I guess I'm drawn to you people.
Weird is fun in my opinion. It is. But I think that is also hard of like, you know, is this other person also weird? Are they gonna think that I'm weird?
Yeah. No. I definitely. Sorry, Abby. I'm calling you out, but Abby is so weird. She's my weird friend. But I love her to death. She just brings me so much joy. And
we bring a little spice.
That's the same. Yeah, I'm like, life would be boring if I didn't have my weird friends. But okay, to kind of, I guess, bring full circle, what would be your advice to that person out there that is wanting to befriend somebody but doesn't know where to start, or they want to have more friends, or they want to make that leap? Like, what would you say?
I would say take the leap, because that's probably the hardest thing, and know that the other person is probably also wanting what you're wanting. If you're feeling that, you're feeling that for a reason. So just go for it. Slide in the DMs or approach someone. Just do it. Don't worry about being rejected, and just try it out, and hopefully it goes well for you.
No, you're right.
I'm like, I don't want someone to like have a bad day because they did it and it didn't work out. Like, you're going to have to try again. Right. And like, not everyone is going to be your person. Not everyone is going to be your friend, but you won't know until you try.
You're right. I would say to somebody asking me, let's go back to being kids when it comes to friendship. Let's go back to not caring and just going up to that stranger and just saying, hey, that looks fun. Can I join in? Like, just back to that innocent child feeling of just doing it, you know, just becoming friends with somebody and not worrying what the other person is going to think.
And put the phone away so it doesn't distract you, because no, you're not going to feel approachable if you're looking down at your phone. You're right.
Apple created Do Not Disturb for a reason.
Yes. So put it on, enjoy your life, go make a new friend, and it can be a virtual friend, it could be a real life friend, whatever it may be. Yeah. But good luck, and when you make your best friend, you can thank us for leading the way. Stories. Yeah, let us know your stories. Oh, that would be like a fun episode. Like that telling like, well, I don't know, how you met your best friend. Could be a good
follow-up, to this.
Well, thank you guys so much for listening to the Live Unleashed podcast. This was so much fun. I
had a blast as always.
Yes, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.